Okay, today we're going to be learning about elements and matter. So elements are matter. All matter is made of elements. So an element is a substance that cannot be broken down into other substances by chemical or physical means. So it's a pure thing. There's nothing else that makes it up. It's just that element. So what about matter? Elements are different types of matter. Think of them like ingredients for the universe. So when you combine them in different ways, they make different things. Each element has a different name. Elements can have some similarities, but have certain characteristics that make them different from one another. So there are some characteristics that are only characteristics for one kind of element, and no other kind of element has that specific characteristic. That's what makes them different. Matter can be made of only one element. For example, oxygen. Pure oxygen is only made of oxygen, the element oxygen, or multiple elements. So water is made of the elements hydrogen and oxygen combined. There are approximately 118 different elements, depending on which website you read. But largely what we're going to talk about is that there are 118 elements. You can think of elements as being like types of baking ingredients. So you need to add all those ingredients together to create something. Types of Legos. There are all different kinds of Legos, and when you put them together in a certain way, they create something. Types of letters. So depending on how you combine the letters, you make different words. So all of these categories, whether it's baking ingredients, Legos, letters, these are all the basic parts that when you put them together, they make up something bigger. So, if you look at baking ingredients, right, we have sugar, flour, water, eggs, milk, butter. Depending on how you combine them, the different amounts, you can make a cake, you can bake cookies, pancakes, and many other different things. So think of letter ingredients. We have 26 different letters. Depending on how you combine them, you can make many different kinds of words. Then think of the 118 element ingredients. So things like hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, iron. Depending on how you combine them, you can make things like steel, plastic, carbon dioxide, water, blood, food, and many, many other things. Anything in the universe. So, we said there's 118 of them. How do we keep track of all of them? The way that we keep track of them is we remember that there are over 100 elements, that all matter in the universe is made from elements, that most of them are natural. Approximately 94 of them are natural, which means they occur in nature. That's just how they are. But some of them are man-made. So there are three basic pieces of information that you need to be familiar with when you're talking about elements. The first one is the atomic name. So, for example, hydrogen. And its symbol, which for hydrogen is H, just a capital H. The atomic number. So that's going to be located at the top of the periodic table. It's going to be just a whole number. For hydrogen, it's 1. And also the atomic mass, which will be located in the bottom of the square on the periodic table. And that's a decimal. So for hydrogen, it's like 1.009. So scientists keep track of all of the elements and their characteristics in a chart called the periodic table of the elements. So this number right here at the top, the whole number, that's the atomic number. It's always going to be a whole number. the big letter, or capital lowercase letter in purple, is the atomic symbol. So you need to notice that the first letter is always capitalized, and if there's a second letter, it's always lowercase. So this is Al for aluminum. This is Cl for chlorine. Okay, so this is not a capital, that's not a capital I. The capital I is right here, which is iodine. And then the lowercase I is right there in titanium. Okay, and then at the bottom of that square, like I said before, there's your atomic mass, and that's going to be a decimal. And that's how the periodic table is always classified. And remember, the periodic table is a table of matter.